हेलो गाइस, वेलकम टू नर्ड्स एंड जॉक्स डग आउट डिस्कशंस। मैं हूं दीप्तायन, मेरे साथ है राजू श्रीला, औजिजदा और शाग्निक। आज हम लोग बात करेंगे यूरो कप के क्वार्टर्स के बारे में। पहले ही काफी एंटरटेनिंग मैचेस हुआ है। पहले ही बात करेंगे स्पेन वर्सेस स्विट्जरलैंड के बारे में। काफी जबरदस्त मैच हुआ। और राजू श्रीला, आपको कैसा लगा?
आई थिंक वही वाला मैच मेरे को सबसे इंटरेस्टिंग लगा एंड वाज अ थ्रिलिंग बैटल बिटवीन द टू साइड्स. Switzerland were very close in for a another surprise in the tournament. They knocked out France in the pre-quarters and they were about to knock Spain as well. So I think बहुत ही thrilling encounter था जहाँ Switzerland they were attacking in patches. They were the team who were looking a bit challenging when they were actually attacking the Spain at the Spain defense, and a lot of times actually at the ऐसे लगा कि Switzerland might they notched up some of the chances, but they were looking much bit बहुत ज़्यादा actually forceful लग रहा था. मतलब बहुत force कर रहा था स्पेन को बैक अपने डिफेंस में फोर्स कर रहा था कि ज़्यादा अटैक करे और प्रेशर में रख के स्पेन को. बट आई थिंक स्पेन ऑन द अदर हैंड दे केप्ट द बॉल जैसे वो खेलते आ रहे हैं पूरा टूर्नामेंट से. दे हैड द पोजीशन, they were playing the tiki taka football and they were really good क्योंकि हम लोग बहुत जनों ने एक्सपेक्ट नहीं किया था स्पेन इतना अच्छा खेलेगा. बट nevertheless that's why you give the tag dark horse. Spain came out from the dark horse tag and they're performing really well. They're performing well than the expectations were. But still I think they lack a bit of firepower in the front. Switzerland, they were, very much productive in the front row, but unfortunately last moment में वो red card आ गया था. हाँ, तो उसके बाद the way they fought, especially you can't actually, praise Liz for the goalkeeper somehow. I mean, he was fantastic, man. I mean, he is one of the talents, one of the finds of this Euros. I think he was brilliant. जितना वो save किया मुझे तो मतलब ऐसे लग रहा कि that it was Switzerland's day. The way he was saving the balls, I thought penalty में जाएगा तो Switzerland, but just might, get a win or get the result in their favor. But unfortunately, didn't win their way. But still, it was a great match, and Spain at last, penalty shootout में वो जीता है. And the credit I think does goes to Switzerland for the fight they actually put up on the show. So बहुत ही बढ़िया मैच था. I think nevertheless the team which actually who actually kept on the pressure and just survived those moments from the Switzerland attack. And especially I won't actually move away and praise Simone because he was good, equally good as well. He saved some of the good shots from the during the penalty shootouts. I think most probably it was a very good match, and I think unfortunate for Switzerland they couldn't qualify, but obviously Spain qualified, and it will be a great showdown between Italy and Spain.
औजिजदा, आप खुद एक गोलकीपर है, आपको समर का परफॉर्मेंस कैसा लगा?
Well, absolutely brilliant. I think in the pre-quarter finals, he was fabulous as well, but he just raised his game to another level in the quarter final. So he was just looking invincible, unbeatable, and everything that was thrown at him, he had an answer for it. So to an extent, I was seeing the Spanish strikers; they were getting frustrated that they are not being able to, without even with their best of efforts, they were not getting past Sommer. I have been following him in the Bundesliga. I think he is a great talent. He is 31 or 32, if I'm not wrong. But he is at the peak of his powers, and like you said, his performance just it got better as the tournament progressed. But also, I'd like to mention Unai Simon. I think his performance in the tiebreaker was very good, and
शायद थोड़ा सा नेटवर्क का मसला हो रहा है औजिजदा के साथ. ठीक है शाग्निक, मैं तुम्हारे पास आऊंगा. स्विट्जरलैंड के हक में उस दिन कुछ नहीं अच्छा जा रहा था. अगर मैं बोलूं, रेड कार्ड था, उसके बाद 18 मिनट में ही उनका मेन स्ट्राइकर एम्बोलो को भी चोट लग गया था. तो काफी चीजें उनके तरफ जा ही नहीं रहा था. आपको कैसा लगा मैच?
आई थिंक मैच में क्या स्पेन का मेन प्रॉब्लम था, स्पेन का एक एक्स फैक्टर नहीं था. स्पेन के पास 70% ऑफ द पोजेशन था। अगर आप स्टैटिस्टिक्स पे बात करोगे तो स्पेन के पास 70% ऑफ द पोजेशन था, लेकिन वो क्रिएटिविटी, वो चीज नहीं नजर आ रहा था। वन दैट डिफ्लेक्टेड ओन गोल हो गया, वो छोड़ के मतलब उतना कुछ नहीं था स्पेन का अटैक में। एंड अगेन अल्वारो मोराटा डिडंट स्कोर। वही ये प्रॉब्लम आएगा स्पेन को आगे जाते हुए टूर्नामेंट में। एंड मैं एक बात कहूंगा स्विट्जरलैंड का डिफेंस में, रिकार्डो रॉड्रिगेज, he make the most tackles in the match. He's a very promising fullback. He was a very promising fullback. His career didn't turn out right, but still he played a great game against Spain. Both the goalkeepers were awesome, but the way Switzerland held on, the way Switzerland defended, I think it's worth the respect.
Exactly.
So, sorry for my lag in the internet
Yeah.
connection. So, as I was saying, Unai Simon, the thing he was doing really well, something that we don't see nowadays too often, that keepers moving sideways during the tiebreaker when the kicker is about to take the penalty kick. So, he was doing that. It was something that Edwin van der Sar for Manchester United, he was superb. He just moved sideways and distracted the penalty kicker. So that is something he did really well. And the penalties that Switzerland players took, I think they were very lackluster. I think they were just planning to end the match in the normal time and not looking forward to the tiebreakers. So they didn't practice too much of the penalty shootout, I think. Because when these sort of knockout stage matches are beckons, the coaches in the practice sessions, they emphasize a lot on penalty drills and penalty shootout practice. So I think that was a bit lacking on their part. So the players who were going forward to take the penalty kicks, they were from their faces. So goalkeepers understand from the face of the penalty taker that how confident they are or which direction they might go for. So the the players who went to take up the penalty shots, I think they didn't have that confidence. They didn't have that spring in their stride. So it was more of a, okay, let's see what happens, that kind of a thing. So I think Jan Sommer was
think they
let
were
down by
casual,
his shooters. So, but kudos to Switzerland. They have put forward a great performance in these Euros, and hopefully they will build on from here.
But why was Alcantara brought in so late? You know, like स्पेन का अटैकिंग में उतना कुछ एक्सपेक्टेड नहीं था, एंड ऊपर से वाइज Alcantara brought in the 113th minute. Or this the Rajoshida? Any comments on that?
I think the commentators also say, and as far I know, Luis Enrique also stated that Thiago wasn't fully fit. I think he got a knock during the training session, I guess. Along with that, I think he didn't have much to, he didn't have much say during the group stages as well as during the pre-quarter. So I think Luis Enrique didn't took his chances. But yeah, fortunately he did came on, because I was expecting a lot from Thiago Alcantara, because he has been very productive during his tenure in Bayern Munich, and since he moved to Liverpool, he was actually getting some of those chances in the red shirt as well. But I expect a lot from him, and a bit of creativity in the midfield. But yeah, fortunately he did came up, but obviously it didn't produce anything for Spain. It had to get went into the penalty shootouts, and yeah, Spain were, I would say, a bit lucky as well that they got the win. But another thing I should say, that Spain hasn't faced any top teams or some, what shall I say, some marquee teams or the big hits of Euro yet, because they have faced Croatia. That was the only, I think, a bit of team which actually reached the World Cup semi-finals last time around. But they haven't faced a real challenge yet. So now they will face Italy, and I think this might be the real test of Spanish side. I think let's see how it goes on, but I will expect Thiago Alcantara to be from the start in the semis.
Odisha?
Sorry, I didn't get the question.
Shagnik?
The question was why is Thiago Alcantara brought in so late by Luis Enrique? Like there was not much creativity in the final third, and we know Thiago Alcantara is someone who can play those nice passes and can create those opportunities. So why is he not brought in earlier?
It's a very difficult thing to answer this because we saw the same thing with Portugal. They didn't bring in Andre Silva, who was in such good form leading up to the tournament. He was getting only 10 to 15 minutes to play. So some coaches have some strategies, and some players don't fit into them very well. So maybe that was the case. We have seen many big names, big players not fitting into the system of a particular coach. Doesn't mean that that coaches just because the result wasn't good, the passing football wasn't good in this match. It doesn't mean that the coach's strategy was poor or his team selection was bad. I think it didn't work out in this match, but obviously he's a very good player, and maybe Enrique has taken up his notes, and hopefully we will see him from the start against Italy, because it's going to be a really difficult match. We will come to the Italy match in a bit, so I'm really waiting to talk about that match. I really enjoyed Italy's performance.
जी, आज रोहित दा हमारे साथ नहीं है, लेकिन वो काफी खुश है क्योंकि उनका टीम सेमीफाइनल्स में पहुंच चुके हैं. ठीक है, अब सीधा बात करेंगे इटाली वर्सेस बेल्जियम के बारे में. ऑदिश दा.
Yes, absolutely. I think I've been following Italy's football for a long time, but I think they are always the masters of defensive football, and it's very difficult to break through them. They will score one goal and sit back and defend that lead. But I think this team, Italy's this year's team, I think they are really good when they are going up front for attacking. And players like Immobile and Insigne, his second, the goal he scored, Insigne, I think it was fantastic. It was a solo effort and a lovely goal to watch. So Italy's football, especially in the final third, their penetration against the experienced Belgium defenders was something to behold. And just very thrilled to watch that match. I think for me, that was the best match of the Euros. And also, I would like to say that considering the pre-quarters, I think the quarterfinal stage of the Euros has disappointed a bit. It wasn't as thrilling, as riveting as the pre-quarters, but I think this was one match that we saw end-to-end football happening and both teams going on the attack. And Italy took a 2-goal lead, but they weren't sitting back and defending. But they were looking forward to score, and that was something very refreshing to see. And also, Belgium had their chances, but when Italy went up by 2 goals, I knew it was going to be difficult for Belgium, because a team like Italy and their two stalwarts in defense, Bonucci and Chiellini, I think they going past them and scoring 2 goals was always going to be a tough ask for Belgium, and they, in the end, Italy were the better team and deserved to go through to the semi-finals.
ठीक है, अब बात करते हैं राजू शिदा के फेवरेट टीम के बारे में, इंग्लैंड वर्सेस यूक्रेन. कैसा लगा? काफी खुश हो आप?
It's coming home. हाँ, बहुत खुश हूँ.
पहला गोल था, फर्स्ट हाफ का पहला गोल था इंग्लैंड के लिए.
हाँ, एक्चुअली बहुत कुछ पॉजिटिव्स है. मतलब क्योंकि the team which he set up, Southgate, I think this was the team which I wanted to see from the start. You know, Sancho from the right. You know, Mount playing with he always used to play two holding midfielders. So he will always play that, but Mount started as well. Actually expected Grealish to start as well. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. But yes, seeing Sancho playing the way he played, I think he was really influential. I think this was the best England performance till date in the Euros. ये लोग तो गोल करके बैठ जाते थे. ठीक है, इंग्लैंड ज्यादा opportunities create भी नहीं करते थे. But this time around, actually they did create a lot of chances. पहले हाफ में मेरे को लगा था और थोड़ा push कर सकते थे. But ठीक है, 1-0 lead लेके वो लोग they were relaxed, and then second half, what a performance by Luke Shaw, man. I think this guy is currently the best left back in the world right now. The way he's performing right now, he is the best left back in the world. I mean, the crosses he just put on, man. Any striker in this world would have scored that. It's a dream ball for them. Harry Kane scored 2 goals. Brilliant assist on Brilliant assist from Luke Shaw from the free kick first of all, then just tipped the ball to the at the same point of time, Jordan Henderson come on and he scored a goal. It was a surprise package from him in the end. But it was a very comprehensive performance. I think England are growing stronger and stronger as the stages go on, and I think they are looking as the most formidable force in this tournament. But still, I think Italy has the upper hand because I think they know how to win this big tournament. We all know they have won the World Cup 4 times, and they know how to win this tournament. Especially this Italian side, as Adris told, they just don't hold back. They just don't score and just hold back and defend. They just go on pushing the opponents and go on to score more and more. And this is a new Italian side. I think so. I do hope that England this time come up on top, especially with the performance Luke Shaw is having. Along with we have some plus points like Mount has come in, Harry Kane has started scoring goals again. Sterling is in very good form. Harry Maguire, Stone is looking like they're playing the best. They played as if they played the best match of the entire national career with the way they are performing. And I think if you see the substitutes, if you just put off Sterling, we can have Rashford. If you just put off Sancho, we can have Grealish. So there are a lot of good talents in the substitute. We have very good subs as well. So I think this is looking very good for England. I think this is it's a golden opportunity for them to place the title, to place the first European title and the first national title after the 1966 World Cup. So let's see how it goes on. But I think it's going to be Italy England in the finals because they look the favorites and they look the most formidable side at the moment.
So you are finally happy with Gareth Southgate?
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy, but not completely. I think what my question is that like if you can score, if you have the ability to score three or four goals in every match, why to settle for just one goal? So that was my question. The way he set up, I knew. They just set up a record. I think they just set up a world record where they have kept they kept the clean sheet for 5 matches. So that's a record itself. And England aren't used to that. If this thing Italy does, it's quite expected from them because that's the sort of side they are. They used to be, they used to flip clean sheets and defend really well. But surprisingly, England are the side with the record now. And I think they have placed the defensive side. But now since they are scoring goals, they are looking much more formidable side. And with the talented substitutes they have, I think they do have a very good chance to place the title. I'm not completely happy with Southgate, but he's getting the results for us and the team is improving. So I think the results does justify that Southgate is doing a terrific job with this side, and he might bring a bit of happiness to the nation and to their supporters as well. So let's hope for the best.
शाग्निक, इंग्लैंड विल बी फेसिंग डेनमार्क सेमीज में. कैसा लगा आपको डेनमार्क वर्सेस चेक रिपब्लिक? कितना डेंजरस लग रहा है डेनमार्क आपको?
I think Denmark reaching the Euro 2020 semi-final is still the second most surprising thing. First, obviously, Rajesh da ka acha net connection. This still tops. But anyway, मेरे लिए टूर्नामेंट इमोशनली एंड हो गया है. एक पोर्टुगल फैन बॉय जैसे बोल रहा हूँ, बट स्टिल इट्स अ सरप्राइजिंग स्टोरी. डेनमार्क का मैं स्टैटिस्टिक्स बताता हूँ. डेनमार्क हैज रीच्ड द यूरो सेमीफाइनल्स आफ्टर लूजिंग देयर फर्स्ट 2 ग्रुप स्टेज मैचेस. पहला फिनलैंड के साथ 1-0 हारा, सेकंड बेल्जियम के साथ 2-1 एंड स्टिल देयर इन द सेमीज. आई थिंक इट वाज अ गुड गेम फॉर देम. 2 फर्स्ट हाफ गोल्स और फिर आई थिंक कहीं ना कहीं द चेक रिपब्लिक ब्रॉट दिस ऑन देमसेल्व्स. पहला गोल के लिए दे गिव एनफ स्पेस जाके हेडर मारने के लिए. तो आई थिंक एनीवे पैट्रिक स्किक इज नाउ द जॉइंट टॉप स्कोरर along with Cristiano Ronaldo, and it's good that he's out of the tournament, so Ronaldo gets the chance at the golden boot. So anyway, they will be facing England, and like उन लोग का advantage यही होगा कि nobody expects them to win. They're the underdogs, and this will be their main advantage going into the Euro semi-finals. So
I'm sure Odrija will be backing Denmark.
Yes.
I'm
Yes,
backing Denmark,
Odrija.
obviously, and also I saw a picture today on the internet of Christian Eriksen with a fan, and he was looking fit and jolly. So it's great to see that picture, and also I wish him a speedy recovery. I hope we can see him on the pitch once again very soon. Whatever medical complications it has been, I hope it gets treated well, so that we can see him again mesmerizing us all with his skills. Coming to the Golden Boot part, I don't have any problems with England winning. If they win, it's kudos to them. But I'm just looking at two players. One is Raheem Sterling. He has been superb. He currently has 3 goals and 1 assist. Okay, Cristiano Ronaldo has 5 goals and 1 assist, and Harry Kane has 3 goals. So I hope both of them don't score 2 goals. Even if Harry Kane
And they get knocked
scores
out.
2 goals, even if Harry Kane scores 2 goals, if he doesn't assist, it would go to Ronaldo. If Raheem Sterling scores 2 goals, it's a tie. So I'm just tensed for that part. Otherwise, I don't mind anyone scoring. Even if England score 10 to 12 goals and win the whole damn thing, it doesn't matter to me. But just I want Ronaldo to get the Golden Boot.
He
रशिदा,
deserves it.
कुछ बोलना चाहिए आपको?
Yeah, I think.
कुछ बोलना चाहेंगे आप?
I completely agree with Sagnik and Abdul, because I am a Ronaldo fan, so I would love to see him winning the Golden Boot. Along with that, obviously, I would love to see England winning the trophy as well. So yeah, so there is a bit of complication in that part, because I don't think England will win. England will win a match without a goal from Kane or Sterling. So I think definitely they will score, realistically speaking. But yeah, if they don't score and still go on to win the trophy and Ronaldo winning the Golden Boot, it will be a terrific, a terrific job.
ठीक है, अब थोड़ा सा फिजिकल फुटबॉल के बारे में भी बात करते हैं. नहीं, एक्चुअली कोपा अमेरिका के बारे में बात करेंगे. हाँ, तो कोपा के क्वार्टर्स भी हो रहे हैं. तो पहले ही बात करते हैं अर्जेंटीना वर्सेस इक्वेडोर के बारे में. काफी शानदार मैच हुआ, 3-0. अर्जेंटीना ने बढ़िया जीत हासिल किया. और फिर से लियोनेल मेसी, क्या कहे, लाजवाब परफॉर्मेंस. और जिसदा, आपको कैसा लगा?
Absolutely, the GOAT coming to the fore once again, and standout performance from him. He could have got another goal very early in the game. Ecuador players, they gifted him a ball, and he was one-on-one with the goalkeeper, but hit the ball against the upright. Other than that, it was a very cagey affair, I'd say, and Ecuador had themselves to blame. I think they had their fair share of chances in the first half, and they couldn't hit the ball on the target, and also defensively they were very lackluster. They were hapless. I think their coordination lacked, and the goals they conceded in the second half, it was just schoolboyish errors. Just gifting the ball, and when you give the ball to players of the caliber of Lionel Messi and Angel Di Maria, then you will be punished, and that is exactly what happened. But if I'd say scores always don't tell the entire picture, I think 3-0 was a bit harsh, just because Ecuador up front they did well, but defensively they lacked a lot against these maestros on the pitch they had against them. But other than that, I think Ecuador's performance wasn't that bad, and at least they were putting pressure on Argentina, at least in the first half. So they could have scored, and they could have even got ahead. But just that clinical part, that final pass that was missing, and the final finish that was needed from the strikers were missing. Other than that, I think Argentina deserved to win, and it's going to be a good game against the good game in the semifinals, and looking forward to that. And something is here, we are waiting to see who wins the Golden Boot in the Euros, but it's certain, almost certain, that Lionel Messi is going to win that in the Copas this year. So 8 goal contributions for the GOAT at this point in time, and there's no stopping him.
एग्जैक्टली, दे विल बी फेसिंग कोलंबिया. कोलंबिया ने काफी फिजिकल फुटबॉल खेला, मैंने देखा उरुग्वे के साथ. अनफॉर्चुनेटली उरुग्वे इज आउट ऑफ द टूर्नामेंट. कितना बड़ा थ्रेट है कोलंबिया अर्जेंटीना के सामने?
I think Uruguay underwhelmed in this tournament. They didn't live up to their potential. they would be disappointed with their performances. In the 4 matches they played in the group stages, they just managed to score 4 goals. Okay, they scored on an average 1 goal every match, but when you have Luis Suarez and Edinson Cavani up front, so you expect them to have a field day on the pitch, and their group wasn't that difficult as well. So I would have expected them to play better, score more goals, but this just wasn't their tournament. Well done to Colombia. I think they deserved it more, and they won it in the tiebreakers. So in Copa, the rule is that if the match ends as a stalemate in the 90 minutes, then we go directly into the shootout. So through the penalty shootout. So Colombia got the better of Uruguay on that occasion, and you never know in penalties. It's up to your luck on that very day. You see even the best of players miss penalties, and the most unfancied ones also scoring. So it was Colombia's night, and congratulations to them. And let's see how they do against in form, red hot Argentina at this point in time.
ठीक है, अब आ जाते हैं शाग्निक और राजोशिदा के फेवरेट टीम के बारे में थोड़ा सा बात करेंगे। ब्राजील, पहले ब्राजील काफी शानदार परफॉर्मेंस कर रहे थे, अभी थोड़ा सा डिप लग रहा है परफॉर्मेंस में। आपको क्या लगता है राजोशिदा? दे विल बी फेसिंग पेरू इन द सेमीज।
हाँ, मुझे तो बहुत लग रहा है कि द वे दे स्टार्टेड द कोपा अमेरिका, दे स्टार्टेड द टूर्नामेंट, दे वर लुकिंग क्वाइट इंप्रेसिव, but suddenly there is a dip in the performance. I don't think this will actually much big challenging during the semis, because fortunately I think they have that strength in their power and they have the caliber to just get past Peru and go on for the finals. But yeah, वो लाल कार्ड भी था. I think that's the reason why they played a bit safe. But I think what do you expect from this Brazil is a lot of opportunities and a lot of conversions. तो वो जो जैसे वो पहले कर रहे थे 4-3-4 करके गोल मार रहे थे हर मैच में. So that is what you expected from the Brazil side, and I think at the end what matters is the result. So they got the win, they got the important win, and they were down with the 10 men. And there was a shocking display by Gabriel Jesus as well. The red card, which was quite shocking, those sort of display. So I think it was a very much deserving red card which he got, and I think it's very fortunate for Brazil that they got the result and they are now move on to semi-finals. So I'm really looking forward to the semis, and I hope nothing dramatic happens over there. They play an impressive game. They play it safe, win it, move into the finals, and I'm looking forward to the finals. Like if Argentina and Brazil face off in the finals, you can't get much better than that. So let's hope for the best.
शाग्निक, ब्राजील चिली कैसा लगा? ब्राजीलियन चिली
तो
जो भी बोलते हैं, ब्राजील वर्सेस चिली कैसा लगा?
ब्राजील का 11 स्ट्रेट विन इन कोपास, लास्ट टाइम का चैंपियन है हम लोग, और कैसा होगा? दिस वाज अ एजी विन काइंड ऑफ, ठीक है, एक ही गोल था, कुछ भी हो जाए, ठीक है. एंड आई थिंक गैब्रियल जेसू, मतलब जैसे उन्होंने रेड कार्ड देखा, थोड़ा सा शाओलिन टेंपल से सीख के आए थे, जिसको मार दिया,
काफी खतरनाक था वो.
And this caps off a
घर पे ट्राई
disappointing
मत
Copa
करना,
for him.
भाई के ऊपर ट्राई मत
नहीं.
करना कभी ऐसा.
बट कहीं ना कहीं आई थिंक जेसू वाज गुड इन द फर्स्ट हाफ. वो नेमार के साथ अच्छा कंबाइन कर रहा था. नेमार इज द हार्ट ऑफ दिस ब्राजीलियन अटैक. वो अच्छा कंबाइन कर रहा था नेमार के साथ, एंड वो जाने के बाद आई कैन डिपेंड ऑन रॉबर्टो फिरमिनो. जैसे उन्होंने टैप इन मिस किया, उसको स्टार्ट कराएगा तो आई थिंक ब्राजील का गोल स्कोरिंग वो रहेगा ही. एंड वही एक चेंज आया और मैच जीत गया ब्राजील. फर्मिनो आउट एंड लुइस पकेटा इन. तो वो आया 60 सेकंड्स के अंदर, इन्फ्लुएंस 60 सेकंड के अंदर वो वॉली मारा और गोल, एंड ब्राजील विंस वर्सेस चिली. आई थिंक मतलब मैं बोलूंगा कि चिली ने डोमिनेट किया यह मैच में. एडुआर्डो वार्गास का काफी चांसेस था, लेकिन आई थिंक अगेन नेमार ने बहुत ही अच्छा खेला ये मैच में. ब्राजीलियन डिफेंस रॉक सॉलिड था. एडरसन ने अच्छा खेला, एंड वी प्रोग्रेस टू द सेमीफाइनल्स. पेरू है सामने, 3-1 हराए थे 2019 फाइनल में. इस बार भी आई थिंक विल स्कोर 4 or 5 एंड प्रोग्रेस टू द फाइनल्स. सो दैट्स ऑल.
ठीक है. पेरू वर्सेस पैराग्वे कैसा लगा? उधर भी तो बहुत गोल फेस्टी हुआ था, 3-3. उसके बाद पेनल्टीज में पैराग्वे को हरा दिया उन्होंने.
पेरू थोड़ा सा अनप्रेडिक्टेबल टीम है, मतलब उन्होंने वर्ल्ड कप में क्वालिफाई किया, इस टूर्नामेंट में भी अच्छा ही हुआ। आई थिंक 32 fouls and 3 red cards, that sums up the Peru versus Paraguay match. कतई WWE हो रहा था वहाँ पे, and I don't know, Rajesh or Adrish, that you have to comment about that match, Peru versus Paraguay.
No, I think
बिल्कुल
mostly in the Copa Americas we see these affairs, very physical football being played and also skills galore. But that is something that happened in that match as well. But I think Shagnik is saying that they will score 4-5 against Peru. I don't think that would be that easy, mate, because they are coming off scoring 3 goals. They may concede 4 or 5, but they have the ability to score 2 or 3 at least. So watch out for Peru.
Rajushida?
Yeah, I think it was a very good contest between the two teams, and हम लोग को सबको अच्छा लगता है जब कोई हाई स्कोरिंग मैच होता है, तो वही था। और वैसे मेरे को भी लग रहा था कि ऐसा लग रहा है जॉनसन आर्मिटेज का मैच हो रहा है जब दोनों का मैच चल रहा था। ठीक है, इतना फिजिकल बैटल हो रहा था, मतलब बट या वी एंजॉयड इट अ लॉट, और दैट इज व्हाट वी यूज्ड टू इन फुटबॉल एंड दैट व्हाट वी लव टू सी इन फुटबॉल। तो हाँ गुड, बट आई completely agree battle, but ultimately Brazil will, prevail the battle and go on to the finals. But it won't be an easy contest. Like it won't be a one-way contest.
ठीक है, राजूशिदा का थोड़ा सा नेटवर्क का मसला हो रहा है। मैं औजिजदा से पूछना चाहूंगा कि औजिजदा, आप एक चीज बताओ, क्या लग रहा है अर्जेंटीना वर्सेस ब्राजील फाइनल?
That should be the case. You never know in football. It's a game of uncertainties. So you never know. We can see an upset. But going by how the teams are performing, Brazil is looking a bit down at this point in time. But as long as they are keeping winning matches, they can keep winning matches. They won't be too much concerned. But I'm just worried about one thing: how much will Brazil miss Gabriel Jesus in the semi-finals? If they can cope up with that, I don't see a reason why they can't make the finals. Coming to Argentina, I think it's going to be really difficult for Colombia to stop them, although they are a very good side. But I'm not very confident about Colombia stopping Argentina from reaching the finals. But if we can see Argentina versus Brazil, it's going to be some night of football for us football-loving fans.
हम लोगों को लगता था कि स्कलोनी हम लोगों का शोज देखते हैं, लेकिन फिर से उन्होंने गलत साबित कर दिया यार। क्या बोल रहे हो?
मैं बोल रहा अभी तो गैरेथ साउथगेट भी देखता है, काफी अटैकिंग फुटबॉल।
हाँ, गैरेथ साउथगेट तो देख ही रहा है, राजूशिदा का शोज देख रहा है, राजूशिदा क्या बोल रहे हैं वो सब सुन रहा है। लेकिन स्कलोनी को हमें लगता था कि स्कलोनी भी देख रहा है, क्योंकि आपका अगुएरो और डिमारिया को पहले स्टार्टिंग 11 में रख रहे थे, फिर से देखो बिठा दिया।
So yes, Di Maria and Aguero both didn't start for them against Ecuador. Maybe the matches are coming one by one, one after another. So they are not getting too much time to rest in between. And these aren't. We aren't talking about young players. Both have done a lot in their footballing careers. So maybe. The Argentine coach wanted to give them a bit of a rest, a bit of a breather, and use them in the second half, which he did. And I think in a match against Ecuador, they weren't fancied against Argentina too much. So I think it was a good opportunity to rest the two senior pros in the team. And when come the semi-finals, I think he would start off with both of them in the playing 11, and we will see the best of them once again.
ठीक है, अभी शटर बंद करने का टाइम हो गया है। थैंक यू पैनल्स हमारे साथ आज जुड़ने के लिए।
थैंक यू एवरीवन।
और प्लीज हम लोगों को थोड़ा सपोर्ट कीजिए। अगर अच्छा लग रहा है हमारा शो तो प्लीज लाइक कीजिए, शेयर कीजिए और सब्सक्राइब कीजिए हमारे चैनल को। हम लोग ऐसे ही एंटरटेनिंग शोज लाते रहेंगे। थैंक यू, गुड नाइट।